If you've been stuck with anything in your life and not sure how to get started from getting where you're at to where you want to go with something, stay tuned because I'm going to share with you exactly what it takes to be able to trust this process so you can get out of your own way and allow yourself to come into alignment with your soul's destiny. Let's go! Hi, everyone. Welcome to my weekly Glow Show. My name is Dr. Harmony, in case we haven't met. And today I have a very special guest with me. And our topic today is going to be when you are in alignment, everything you need for your journey will show up. And I am so excited about this particular topic because we have a huge announcement, as well as last week on my show, I talked about 11 principles to help you get in alignment with yourself. And today, the alignment of some things that I personally am doing, as well as my guest today, Tatiana Hassan, which I want to thank you so much for showing up today, Tatiana, and being part of this, as well as many other things. I'll come back in just a minute. I want to give a little backstory. I want to first share with the audience a little bit more deeper on what this topic really means, and then our connection. And then I'm going to turn it over and let Tatiana explain and share her side of this journey of being able to get into alignment with yourself and also trusting that everything you need for that journey will show up when you're in alignment. So, I have heard for years and years and years and years and talked about that whatever you need is going to show up when you're in alignment. I've said that so many times. I've believed it. I've even seen it. But, in our journey, we tend to get in our own way. We tend to get blocked in the figuring out, well, I'm here, but I want to get here. And I don't know how to make that happen. And we get in the way of our own limitations because a lot of times what our soul's purpose is, it always is. Our soul purpose is bigger than we could construct from a human mind or to be able to do on our own. And so we really have to learn a lot of trust to be able to step out of that way and to know that no matter what it is that we came here to do, be, and have an experience as a soul, that if we're doing what the soul's calling is, that everything's going to move with ease and grace. And that doesn't matter what that is. That's with love, that's with money, that's with, purpose, and one of the things that I help you people do out there is to unlock your hidden potential, to get in alignment with yourself, so then you can align with everything that your destiny calls for in your life, love, and livelihood. So again, I just thought today was a really good demonstration to use my own story, my own example of how this has played out in my own soul's calling, my own soul's mission, and share with you the principles I talk about that we need to trust. First, we need to ask, what is it that we need to know? Then we need to listen, we need to allow, and we need to be open to receive so that we can trust ourselves, trust this process, and trust our journey. And so that's why I want to share the exciting news about how the book launch of Twin Flame Codebreaker is coming out in Spanish this weekend. It should be. We have Library of Congress's number. The control number is the only little missing piece aside from a couple little tweaks in order for that book to go live. Now, that would not have happened on my own. I don't know how to speak Spanish, much less translate my book into Spanish, right? And I had no clue how to get that done. So Tatiana, that's where she has come into play with this and our connection. And so I want to tell the backstory, Tatiana, here, but I want people to hear your voice for a second, hear that beautiful, fluent voice you have. So I just want to hear, what would you like to say for a minute before I tell the backstory of our connection and how the alignment of that and how we had to trust to make this happen, as well as many other ventures that we're going to share about in this video today.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Tatiana and I'm from Colombia. I am super excited about everything and how life really does show. It gives you like really everything when you really release, let go, and allow. That's the word that's coming to me. Is just allow. And our connection has been magical. That's the world. It's magical. You cannot even explain it from like a 3D perspective. It's not even possible. And so when she tells the story, you're gonna see why this is
You're
so.
like, wow, right?
It's magical. Yeah, that's it. Magic.
I love that. So that really does, I like how you use the word magic because it's so true. We are the magician in some retrospect of this. Like we co-create all of our journey and all of these things, but we do it from such a high perspective that we pre-coordinate and pre-plan and make such connections in all these areas of our life for the right people, the resources, and everything we need. And so let's just jump into the backstory then and share that. So basically, I was working on a project for a Lionsgate about, it'll be 3 years this year ago, in 2017, I think that's what it was, yes. And I was started receiving this alignment of these codes and these activations of these diamond light. I was really building this bridge of understanding what diamond light and light codes were and bringing them into form and having visions. And out of nowhere, I get this email from this woman from another country that says, I happened to be watching your YouTube video and it activated me, and I had to like put everything to the side and I just started drawing like a mad woman and like creating in a matter of hours like these codes that were in these images of these lights or these beautiful drawings. And she had no clue. We had never spoke. It was the first interaction. And I saw she sent me 5 of these images that were codes and light codes and diamond light codes at that. And when I saw them, do you have them in front of me? When are you? Oh my gosh, yes, they were
I
my
have.
visions.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
this was the one I sent you first. I
Yes, and
remember.
it was the 8-8, the Lionsgate of the 8-8 on top of that. And so she had no clue about this. See how beautiful, see what great artwork she does?
Yeah.
That's
So.
so amazing. They just still like, they just light me up to see this.
Yeah.
So, so basically, just to kind of share, she sent me 5 of these images, and I'm like blown away because they're visions that I had saw within 2 days of her sending them, something like that. Around probably around the time same time she was drawing them or something. And I was seeing them. So then I'm like saying, oh my gosh, I had visions of these. These are what I saw in a vision, and these are codes. And to use these, I knew I was using these codes to plant seeds of radiance to activate people in the work that I do. And so when she sent them, I said, do you by any chance can or get 3 more? She goes, oh, I drew 8. And because it was 8 of them that I had saw, she sent 5. I asked her about 3 more, and she's like, I did 8. And she immediately sent me the other 3 back. So then like we were just kind of both blown away because basically we ended up on this channel together of I have visions and she's somewhere in the plane of that vision and she can see what I see and she can bring into form my visions without us even talking. Down to a couple months after that, I went to Bogota, Colombia, and to visit Tatiana. And in that, there was a lot of trust in that. There was a lot of trust in that, just going and just going because we had never met. We'd met online where we had talked on video chats, but people are like, you're going to a third world country and you don't know anyone. And like, honestly, I had no clue I had no clue anything. However, I knew I was guided to go. I knew I
Mm.
was supposed to go. And, later Tatiana had said to me, you know how I knew how much that I could trust you, as in her trusting me in this journey her and I've been on? She said, because you trusted me enough with your life to show up in another country. And I knew if you could trust me that much, I could trust you that much. Right?
Yeah.
It was so beautiful. So aside from that, then I had a ring that I was duplicating. That was the Swan Goddess ring, and she's so talented. She's not only an artist of artwork, she actually also makes jewelry. So she reduplicated my Swan Goddess ring that I wrote about in Twin Flame Codebreaker, and we've brought that into form as a product that I have available. And at that time, I had been working on the Twin Flame deck of cards, which I wrote about in Twin Flame Codebreaker. And in that deck of cards, there was a lot of different pieces and a lot of different glitches that were holding it up. It wasn't ready. I'd also been told from my own spiritual advisor that I would have an illustrator come forth that would duplicate all of this into like customized illustrations where I had been doing like graphic type images. And so basically Tatiana, at the time it came in, I'd already been working on that deck, like I think around 2 years. And it took her over a year, but she recreated all the images and they're encoded. I'm gonna have her share that. Maybe we're really talking about the book, but they're encoded with energy and mandalas and all kinds of stuff. And the deck got picked up by the world's largest publisher in the world as far as that distributes this type of product. And actually the very first tarot card deck ever made in the world, it's the same publisher that we are now publishing with this year. That's been another year project that will come out later this year. Now see how alignment, I couldn't have made this stuff happen from my mind, people. There's no way I could have done this from my mind. I just couldn't have. It had to like give birth to itself. I had to trust, I had to go, I had to take every step one at a time, down to then I knew that my book was being called, like it wanted to be heard, it wanted to go more, it wanted to go further, it wanted to get a whole nother audience. So guess who's a translator for Spanish also? And now I've got to tell you the backstory of that, because not only is she a translator just because she speaks Spanish, she's a professional translator because she is the daughter of a mother that is a professional translator for many famous people out there, down to Deepak Chopra, that I'm so honored that her mother got to do a last review of the book that's coming out. That's like, how can you make this up? How could I have like signed up and said, I'm gonna just figure out where Tatiana Hassan is in the world, and I'm gonna align with her because she can do some magic. She can bring all this stuff into form on a bigger scale than I can, and she's gonna be taking this message not only out in this book form, and by the way, I gotta back up. We have 8 more card decks planned, and we also have like 5 more books planned, as well as like multiple other things. It's magic, people, like she said. You have to trust this process. You have to know you're in alignment. You have to get out of your own way and stop trying to figure it out, because you're your own worst enemy, blocking all this from happening. If you're trying to figure it out, you'll still be trying to figure it out. If I was trying to figure out who's going to translate this, I was trying to figure out who's going to do the card deck, the images, on and on and on, I'd still be waiting. My process is I don't wait to get it together to start. I get it together starting and doing, and it unfolds. It allows. I've seen it over and over and over. I teach my clients to do the same. And, you know, it's just a beautiful experience when we can get out of the way and allow this to happen. So I want to hear from you, Tatiana. I want to hear your side of the story.
Well, my side of the story, like it was awesome because the reason I met Dr. Harmony was because I was following, of course, all of her amazing teachings and videos. And when I started the twin flame journey, I had lots of mystical experiences that led me to, oh, I am part of this, whatever this is. Then I bought her book and the Twin Flame Codebreaker, and that completely like blew my mind. And I read the whole book and I was like, oh my gosh, this is me. This is all of that. So in that moment, that's when I was watching the videos about the diamond light codes and the Lionsgate, and I kind of knew all these things, but without knowing anything. It's more like things just come through me. But I don't have like, this is what this is and that's what that is. So I went to do a regression because I was interested in like past lives and stuff. And then during the regression, I kind of, instead of going back to a past life, I tapped into this dimension or whatever it was. It was all this beautiful, radiant, like rainbows, and it was just beautiful, like crystals. And I was like told in a not a singular form, but in plural. It was talking as we, and I was just kind of like talking, and they said like the rainbows need to be out there. Rainbows need to be out there. So I went and drew a mandala, which I was like, well, that's what I know how to do. I am a mandala artist, so I drew this. And from then I was watching her video, like she said, and then I don't know, as I was watching the video, I just kept transforming it, and all these things kept coming up, and I was like, what is that? It's like lightning speed. And from then we connected, and she came to Colombia, and I remember picking her up from the airport, like, and I thought, this woman trusts me. Like, I could have been a serial killer, like, ever, I don't know. And she just came, and I hosted her at my place. She met my parents. We went and did a lot of activations in Colombia, in lots of different points. And it was just a very beautiful experience. And then when we started collaborating on the deck, this was part of my journey as this journey of understanding whole twin flame merger of feminine masculine unity. All of that came through working with each image. And as I was going myself through the process, I was also being the process and putting it in the third dimensional visual form. So all of this energetic, vibrational things that go with this journey of ascension were just kind of imprinted, because when you are the channel of it, it's not me, Tatiana, it's the consciousness that was, flowing through. And that's why it took so long, because I could have just done whatever images very fast, but it was like, no, I'm going as the process is going. And I went through the whole process, the purging, the karmic purge, like everything, dark night of the soul, the repeats of that, the looping, then the breakthroughs, like all of it. It's just, so that deck was infused with the process.
Yes.
And
now I'm going to say something really quick. It was infused with the process because I did the same thing when I created it, the first deck, and I went through the process. Then you created the images and went through the whole process. When you put it back into my hands and I created the book for it, I went through the whole journey again as well. Back through from the whole journey, and that book and the words of also coming in and through me that came out into that book that goes with it also is infused with the same encoded energetic process of the ascension process, which is really, that deck is about going from fear to freedom.
mm-hmm.
And I know you said when you was translating the book, you went through the same process again.
This is when it gets interesting, because I was, again, same thing, just like this is amazing. This is just pure trust, because we're not here like, oh, we're going to make all this money. Like, no, it's like, we need to do this. It needs to be done. So there was just this trust that we're putting all this work just because the world needs it. And it's going to be out there. Whatever comes from it is what needs to flow. And in the same manner, I was like, when she said, oh, it would be nice to have the book in Spanish. And I'll look, well, I do, official translations for my mom, and I know that if I can translate this book, like, she will also help me review, because she's like one of the best translators in Colombia.
In the world, right? That's why I'm so honored that she helped do the
because she's my mom. She really is. So, so shout out to my mom.
She deserves it. She's been doing this 40 years, right?
Yeah, for over 40 years. Yeah.
Wow.
And then she even translated Deepak Chopra's 7 laws of 7 universal laws. So for success. Yeah. So it's like very cool.
I find that such a, it just blows me away. Like, final edit was from Deepak Chopra's editor. like how can I make that happen? That's, and I'm not even saying that ego, I'm saying it isn't blown away. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh.
Was the version that was in Colombia, at least I know that. And yeah, so it was amazing to have this thing kind of come together, because when I started doing the book, guess what? Is as I was going again through the whole process again, because there's still things that need to, this process is not a straight line. It's really a kind of a spiral. That's how I
like
always,
my Christmas tree of,
yeah, the
Christmas
exactly.
tree I talk about in the book, Twin Flame Code Breaker. Yeah.
That's
We're
exactly how.
becoming the North Star at the top of the tree.
Yeah, so you kind of pick up, evolve, pick up on things, evolve, pick up on things, evolve. So I was going through this again. I read the book, of course, like I had to translate it, review it, re-review it. So every time I was like going through this again in my own life, what was happening? Redoing the process. Then my mom came along. She and she was blown away by the information, because she's not necessarily in this, but she was like, oh, this is so interesting. So this is this and this is that. And I'm like, yeah, I was trying to explain to her, and she was very open.
And now she started seeing the codes 1111, right?
Yes,
she was in the book.
She was like, wow. And I'm like, welcome, Mom, to the wake up call. Happening to everyone. And that's what's magic. This is really beyond our control. It's not in our hands. We're just,
we're out of the way.
We're serving the process. And this is exactly how it happened. When the book was finished, and we had set a deadline, and the deadline was like, we just did it. We worked through it. And now it's out. And so,
yeah.
And now the decks are starting to come. I don't know if we should do the spoiler for the next one.
But the next, we're going to hold the next one's going to be like, oh my gosh, right? Even though this one's like, oh my gosh.
It's very beautiful, but
yeah, we already deck one's not out. Deck 2 is already being created, right?
It's already cooking in the ethers.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just what I feel that my role is here is it's aligning with all the other beings that have their portion of information, and tapping into that same realm, in that same Christ consciousness that we're all
and the only way you do that is alignment, which is the key. The key is coming into the alignment of yourself, which again, I'm going to make sure you have a link below for the 11 principle video I did last week, but you got to come into that alignment of your highest vibrational version of you that aligns not just with what your head thinks, but aligns with your soul's calling, your ultimate calling, the one that's the highest version of what you came here to do, be, and have. And that's the same way with partners and, money, as well as here we're talking about purpose, because this is a part of Tatiana and mine's mission within our personal journeys. And our collective mission, and then the collaboration of that. There's no way we could have constructed that. And that's how you also have to pay attention when things show up. Sometimes something can show up and we might block that. And there might be lots of opportunities show up like this in our path, but we're not awake enough to see it, or we are blocked with walls of protection of allowing ourselves to, say, for instance, with love, blocking it because we've been hurt before and we're afraid to let down those walls, and we won't allow love in. So it really, can be like limiting. We want to not limit ourselves in this. So really just trusting the process, and that's what it takes for it to come into play. And yeah, that's our story. And the book should be we're the launch date, that Library of Congress control number that got held up, that launch date should be out in the 22nd or 23rd, which is this weekend. However, this is another part of this process. Sometimes things come up and block things, and we've had to learn in this process of doing this along the way as well. Tatiana is that she can, attest to this. We've had many times we've had to just back up and let this thing like
sit.
That's it.
Literally. Mm-hmm.
It just, we knew we were hitting a wall, and it's like, okay, we have to stop and
Mm-hmm.
not push. When you push through it, that resistance creates resistance, which creates separation from you and everything. So it's about being able to let go of your resistance of thinking and getting in your way of the own timing that you think is the timing. So anyway, you will hear more. I will be posting more and letting you know that, because this is going to be on a backstory. Twin Flame Codebreaker itself, I didn't realize this until I was getting ready through this publishing process of Twin Flame Codebreaker in Spanish version, which I'm kind of learning Spanish through the process of this because I've had to on some of these words. In fact, I'm going to hear from you in a minute, Tatiana, let you verbally say Twin Flame Codebreaker and the title in Spanish, okay? But basically, we, like, in this process, I've been setting all this up in such a way that I've had to allow it just to come to life as a, as I was saying, as it needs to. And so, like, therefore, I will be posting links of when it's going to be live and letting and notifying you, because what I was about to say is Twin Flame Codebreaker itself has been a bestseller for 3 years now. It's been in the top 5 of its category. And I did not, what I was about to tell you is I didn't know that it actually, there's millions of books on Amazon, millions. And in the best category seller, Twin Flame Codebreaker ranks in the 33,000 mark out of millions of books of bestsellers. That's high in the ranking of every book on Amazon. So we are working to align this in the Spanish market also in its top ranking for Spanish, because that's another thing Tatiana is planning to do that's opened a portal for her, and her mission is even greater than she realized. She's about to take a lot of this information and a lot of, even down to potentially, we're going to be collaborating potentially in the future of some of my program itself, to where she will be in the Spanish world and the Spanish market, taking this knowledge and wisdom of Twin Flame Codebreaker into another, population, and to share that where people wouldn't have heard it otherwise. So do you have any final thing you would like to say, Tatiana?
Well, just that the final thing is definitely trust, absolutely trust, and always stay connected to the heart, because this is what whenever I've been disconnected from the heart, that's when, I just get pulled back in. And when you really align, and the word alignment is so key, with that truth, that vibration, that's where you go for, like what you said, there's opportunities that are always going to come. And that's when you use your discernment and feel. And if it feels, yes, this is it, this is really right, it feels expansive, then you just trust and go for it. Because the mind will always want to go, yeah, but this, but that, So yeah, stay in your heart, like, trust the process, love it. Like, I'm talking to myself, right?
That's how this journey works, right?
Myself, it's for me, yes. Yeah. But yeah, our mission is usually beyond ourselves. We're just these channels, and I'm so grateful. This is just,
I just want to stop for a second, and in that gratitude and grace of this, Tatiana, thank you for honoring your soul calling, your desire, your nudge to show up that day and send those 5 images, because look what's happened.
Wow, who would have known? Huh?
Can you imagine if that's another thing to look at in this? Can you imagine if you had not honored that call?
Yeah. Wow, exactly. I would have been in another timeline, or just, but this has put me in, and this is what keeps me, my heart just glows. And currently where I live in Canada, I host heart circles like every month, and I'm doing astrology. Like, I do a lot of things for the community here to bring this information also where I'm at, and I use these like every single time. because this is just a representation of that vibration and that energy that we don't know exactly what it is, how it is, but it's flowing through us. And I have deep trust that that's something that the planet and it's wanting for us. So we just show up. This is, and you say that a lot in your book. You just show up, show up. I show up, and the things just flow.
See, I even wrote about that. And I knew that then, and look what showed up after I even wrote that, right? And that's still like, that's how this journey blows me away more and more every time something shows up.
Yeah.
The more, here's the other thing about that, to build that trust meter, we're tangible people. We want to see tangible results. We want to see the stuff work, right? Mm-hmm. And it's really just the law of attraction too. It's our vibration that we're sending out, the signal we're sending out that, you know, we get back. But we still need to see. We got to trust that process and trust that intuition within us. So the more we see things show up, the more we can let go. And the more we can let go, the more we trust. The more we trust, that the more we're able to open up and allow and receive. So it's allowing us to then go through this elevation process of what I call an elevate your trust meter, so that you can continue to open up and allow these things to just show up. And then be so grateful for when they do, because when you move into the stream of gratitude and grace like this, and to realize that things can happen in such a more fluid way, greater than we could have done on our own, and allowing that process to take over our lives, it becomes the most beautiful experience. And that's why I tell people I live in Oz every day, because I zip all over the world to do things, and I'm sitting here in front of my computer, and then I'm traveling the world too. But, you know, I just saw this vision of something bigger than me 20 years ago, and I've followed my heart every step of the way. And that's what I want to teach you guys how to do too. So thank you guys. And thank you, Tatiana, again. Thank
you.
Tatiana, tell them, we'll put links below so they can get connected with you, but tell them like your information, how they can connect with you. We'll make sure links are below.
Yeah, so you can connect to my YouTube channel. I have a channel that's Tatiana's Spiritual Toolbox. So you can check me out through my English channel, right? Post some videos and things.
Yep.
My channel in Spanish that I'm creating, it's going to be Conciencia sin Ciencia, or we'll put it also down below. If you want to find me, you can find me on my website, www.tatianahassan.com. And then whatever you need, want to connect or share experiences, here I am.
Now let's hear the title of the book in Spanish.
Oh,
the whole title.
Descifrando el código de las llamas gemelas. That's the title, you know.
And that's Twin Flame Code Breaker, right?
Yeah, and los códigos. Yeah. Entonces, para encontrar el amor incondicional y encontrar tu camino a casa.
And that is
the 1111 codes.
The secret to unlocking unconditional love and finding your way home, right?
Oh, exactly.
I knew the casa.
I said it so many times, but still it's like,
yeah, you still have to think about it. Yeah,
I know. It's long, but that doesn't mean anything. It just means it's more to take in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, another thing about that is, and I haven't had a chance to even tell you, but you know, it went in less words, but the words were so much longer, it added more pages to the book.
Spanish is a little bit more detailed language. Yeah. And that's the thing. Language is so important because words are codes in themselves. So when you code them in one language or another language, that's why even when I was translating, I was not just like, this is the word, this is the word. It's like, what's the meaning behind it? What's the energy behind it? So you can put it in the new code, because that code is going to be interpreted by all those other people that when they read it, those words are going to go like, oh, I feel this energy. I feel this vibration in the same manner the cards or the
they feel that in the book as well when people read the book. But in addition to that, I got to say, you know, that's a lot of trust, like say on my part, because there's certain words that don't exist in other languages. And so Tatiana was having to like take that and translate it in a way that it also was the same concept, that you don't lose integrity. Because there's a lot of translators out there that you can get, but it doesn't mean that, they're going to understand the concept or encode it with the same energy. And that's why this trusting and allowing somebody like Tatiana to show up that is in alignment with my work on another scale of just having a translator. I mean, we have in this and encoded it with the same vibration as the original version. That's what's so beautiful to me too.
And that's also because when you're on this path, like this twin flame path, oh, Champ's there.
Yes.
Sorry.
He had to show up and get his 2 cents in here. Make his appearance.
Well, when you're on this journey and you just didn't even know how you sign up for this journey, because that's not something like, oh, it comes to you because your soul is ready, this is the time, and that's when everything aligned. And I didn't even know, like, what is this whole twin flame thing? It just really came to me through all these mystic experiences that I was like, okay, what's going on? And I guess for a lot of us that are in this journey, you out there, because you are in this journey, and so it kind of takes one to know one in that sense. So when I was doing the translation, it's like I understand from within what all of this means. Mm-hmm. And it's not just words or any other book that you could translate. So this is very, very meaningful, and for all of those that this material is going to reach, and in Spanish, it's because somehow it is needed. This information is needed out there more and more. Yeah. The more on the planet that we are here to bring this higher consciousness and this connection to the Christ consciousness and the heart, the more we are, the faster this process is going to go, and the ascension is just going to go like flawless and fluid and beautiful.
Which is what this new moon coming up is all about, right? That we have coming on the 23rd, which is our
moon in Pisces
that we're assuming is going to happen.
So, moon in Pisces, yes, with a
that flow, right? Fluid flow, ease and grace, right? Awesome. So thank you so much, Tatiana, again, for taking the time to come and share. Thank you for everything and you've participated and helped with. And thank you all for showing up also here on Facebook Live that we wanted to make this announcement with, as well as my YouTube audience. Make sure that you like, comment, share the shine. Make sure to let us know if you have any questions or any comments that you would like to share in the comment section below. And may you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.